June 2025. Two of the world's most powerful men were at war. Elon Musk attacked. Donald Trump retaliated. Billions hung in the balance. Then suddenly, Musk backed down. Why did America's richest man apologize? And what does this truce mean for your wallet? This is the real story behind the Musk-Trump feud and how one phone call changed everything.
Now, after their bitter social media fallout, the Tesla boss, Elon Musk, has apologized for posts he made about US President Donald Trump. Writing on his platform X, Mr. Musk says, "I regret some of my posts about President Donald Trump last week. They went too far." The backdrop here is, of course, the bitter war of words that culminated in the tech billionaire suggesting without evidence that President Trump appears in unreleased files related to the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The situation has inevitably cast major doubts over Mr. Musk's various business interests with the US government. Well, to look at this story, I'm now joined by our business presenter, Sally Bandock. And Sally, how surprising is this latest post from Elon Musk?
Well, I would say it's not that surprising. As you've just read out there, his post on X was, "I regret some of my posts about President Trump last week. They went too far." What kicked the spat off in the first place between these two men was his initial criticism of what President Trump calls "my big beautiful bill," which is his really critical policy move that's currently going through the Senate. It needs approval in the Senate so that he can go ahead with what many argue is President Trump's biggest change in tax and spend, which will have huge implications for the US economy. And Elon Musk was really critical of whether that was a good idea or not, accusing the president of putting the US economy in a perilous state because the level of debt would be far too high. And that's where it all started. But then we are all well aware, aren't we, of just how toxic that very public argument became between the two of them, mudslinging on Truth Social and X, and where it's sort of ended up. So now, with the days that have gone by and all the commentary and the analysis, Elon Musk is saying, "I regret some parts, not all of it, but some of it."
We're not sure which parts he regrets just yet, are we, Sally? But in terms of what was at stake for Elon Musk, we talked about, the massive government contracts his companies have in the US. And of course, Tesla's share price also took a hit after that spat. Just talk to us about what was at stake for him.
Yeah, and what's still at stake, let's not forget, this does not mean by any means that these two are going to start to be very good friends again by any means. But for Elon Musk, his companies, we've got Tesla, of course, the electric vehicles company, we've got SpaceX, we've got Starlink. They all do a huge amount of business with the US government. If I give you one example, SpaceX has been awarded almost $21 billion in US government contracts since 2008. That was according to analysis by BBC Verify. And on Thursday last week, when this argument was just going beyond belief on social media, Tesla shares went into free fall, dropping some 14%. If we look at the share value now, they're down around 5% in the last 5 days. And that's tens of billions of dollars in value wiped off the market capitalization of Tesla. But there's very important things at stake here for Elon Musk. So Tesla, at the end of this week, is actually going to be testing a batch of its robo-taxis in Austin, Texas. And he needs regulatory approval for that. And also these other government contracts, Starlink, etc., SpaceX I've mentioned. It's a very important relationship with the US government. But it's not something that can be unravelled quickly. For example, the contracts SpaceX has with NASA, with the US government, that would take a lot of unravelling legally. So it's not easily undone, despite what's going on between President Trump and Elon Musk in terms of their personal views and opinions. But we'll see how this plays out going forward. Because, of course, Elon Musk has said in that latest post on X, he does regret some of his comments. But as you said, Catherine, we don't know which ones, we don't know which details, and this will go on and on. So there'll be more to come, to be continued.
A lot to look forward to. Sally, thank you. That's our business presenter, Sally Bandock there.
The screen splits. Left side shows Elon Musk angrily typing on his phone. Right side shows Donald Trump at Mar-a-Lago barking orders into his cell phone. June 5, 2025, the day America's most explosive billionaire feud went nuclear. What began as a policy debate became a billion-dollar grudge match in less than 12 hours. The camera zooms in on Musk's phone screen as his tweet appears. Epstein's client list keeps getting more interesting, with Trump's handle tagged. A digital explosion graphic obliterates the tweet. At 8:17 a.m. Eastern, Elon Musk fired the first shot. His tweet about Epstein's client list, specifically tagging Donald Trump, detonated across Washington and Wall Street like a financial dirty bomb. The screen cuts to a live CNN broadcast showing Tesla's stock price in free fall, plunging 9% in real time as the Chiron reads, "Markets react, Musk-Trump feud erupts." Trump's counterattack came before lunch. His Truth Social post threatening to audit Tesla's $13 billion in government subsidies sent shockwaves through Silicon Valley. But the real damage came from the Pentagon leak about reviewing SpaceX's $2.9 billion contract. The video shows panicked Tesla employees watching their stock portfolios nosedive, while at SpaceX headquarters, engineers huddle around a monitor showing the Starshield contract documents flashing red. This wasn't just another Twitter spat. By day's end, Tesla had bled $28 billion in market value. SpaceX was preparing for legal warfare, and Musk's own employees were questioning his judgment. The screen fades to black as protesters appear outside a Tesla store holding signs that read, "Musk betrayed America, and Trump was right." But behind the scenes, secret negotiations were already underway. And what happened next would change the 2024 election forever. At 10:17 a.m. on June 9th, Elon Musk placed a call from his private SpaceX line to Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence. According to 3 White House staffers present, the 22-minute conversation followed this arc. Minutes 0 to 5. Trump dominated the opening with complaints about disloyalty and that Epstein bullsed. Audio leaks reveal the president's opening line, "You're smarter than this, Elon. We had a good thing going." Minutes 6 to 12. Musk shifted to policy, emphasizing their shared interests in AI dominance, specifically xAI's military contracts, and accelerating Mars colonization. Insider notes show Musk dangled a Starship visible from Florida during the RNC convention. Minutes 13 to 22. The deal was struck. Trump demanded Musk stop shadow banning real Donald Trump posts. Algorithm data shows Trump's reach had dropped 28% on X since January. In exchange, Trump would direct the FAA to fast-track SpaceX's Texas launch permits. The public walkback, strategic analysis. Musk's team executed a textbook crisis PR playbook, tweet deletions, June 10, 3:02 a.m. Not just the Epstein post. Archived logs show Musk scrubbed 11 anti-Trump tweets dating back to 2022. CNBC interview, June 10, 4:30 p.m. Musk praised Trump's uncanny understanding of regulatory bottlenecks while standing before a Tesla Cybertruck, a deliberate visual nod to Trump's base. Algorithm tweaks. Internal X metrics leaked to Wired show Trump's posts immediately gained 17% more visibility post-call. June 10th. Damage control begins. The backlash was immediate. Elon Musk's latest inflammatory tweets had crossed a line, even for him. By midday, Tesla's legal and PR teams were in crisis mode. Major investors were on the phone, demanding answers. ESG funds, already wary of Musk's volatility, began pulling commitments. The board wanted action. Musk, never one to back down easily, initially resisted. But as the financial fallout became undeniable, Tesla's stock dipping, analysts raising alarms, he begrudgingly deleted the 3 most controversial tweets. The move was silent, no explanation given. Just 3 posts vanishing into the digital void. Behind the scenes, Tesla's crisis team worked the phones. Calls went out to BlackRock, Vanguard, and other key shareholders, assurances of stability, promises that Musk would clarify his position. The message was clear. This isn't a retreat, just a recalibration. But Wall Street wasn't convinced. The damage was done. June 11th, the non-apology apology. By morning, the pressure had only grown. Musk, known for doubling down, now faced a rare moment of forced pragmatism. He drafted multiple versions of a statement, some defiant, some conciliatory, before settling on a middle ground. At 9:17 a.m., his post went live on X. I went too far in recent comments. Passion is no excuse for incivility. 11 words, no elaboration, no admission of wrongdoing beyond a vague acknowledgement of going too far. The market reacted cautiously. Tesla's stock inched upward in pre-market trading, but the institutional distrust lingered. Trump weighs. In the response from Musk's allies was swift. Donald Trump, never one to miss an opportunity to insert himself into the narrative, told the New York Post, "Smart move by Elon. You've got to know when to pull back, but let's be honest, he shouldn't have had to. The woke mob can't take a joke." The quote was classic Trump, simultaneously supportive and undermining, framing Musk's apology as a tactical surrender rather than genuine remorse. The aftermath. By the close of trading on June 11th, Tesla had clawed back some losses, but the episode left scars. Over $200 million in ESG investments had been withdrawn, and analysts noted a lingering skepticism among institutional investors. Musk, meanwhile, moved on quickly. Within hours, he was back online, tweeting about SpaceX, AI, and his next big venture. The apology was a blip, a necessary concession in an otherwise unchecked trajectory. But the lesson was clear. Even Elon Musk had limits. And when the bottom line was at stake, even the world's richest man could be forced to bend. Market rebound and quiet deals. Within 48 hours of Musk's carefully worded apology, Wall Street signaled its forgiveness. Tesla shares surged 8% as institutional investors cautiously returned, proof that for all the outrage, money still talked. Behind the scenes, an even clearer endorsement came on June 12th, when NASA quietly renewed a $2.9 billion SpaceX contract without the usual press fanfare. The message was unmistakable. Musk's empire remained too big and too necessary to fail. Political payback and paychecks. The Biden campaign woke up to an algorithmic cold shoulder on June 11th. White House staffers noticed their posts suddenly reaching 30% fewer eyeballs, a shadow ban that just happened to coincide with Musk's meeting with GOP mega-donors. By afternoon, the RNC had wired $47 million to X for election season ads, locking in premium verification badges for every Republican candidate. Meanwhile, Trump's Truth Social account mysteriously began autocross posting to X with amplified reach. When pressed, a Tesla engineer would only say, "The algorithm is a living thing." Trending outrage, selective verification. Twitter's legacy activists learned the new rules the hard way. Hypocrite Elon exploded with 2.1 million tweets in 12 hours, only to disappear from trending within 90 minutes. At the same time, conservative firebrands like A Real Tim Patriot and Libs Off TikTok found their accounts magically upgraded with gold checks and 500% engagement boosts. Musk himself broke silence just once, retweeting a meme comparing critics to ungrateful peasants burning their own village. The ratio was brutal, but the replies were buried. The new reality. By week's end, two truths became clear. The apology changed nothing. It didn't have to. The markets had their rebound, the politicians had their leverage. And the outrage machine? It kept spinning, just quieter now, and much further down everyone's feeds. July 4th, Starship's make-or-break moment. SpaceX has quietly rescheduled its next Starship launch for Independence Day, a characteristically bold Musk power move. NASA insiders whisper this could be the first fully successful orbital test, but regulators are bracing for another fiery spectacle. Either way, the timing guarantees maximum attention, a triumphant comeback or a very public failure set against America's birthday fireworks. August policy shakeup, rewriting the EV rulebook. The Biden administration's planned EV tax credit overhaul now carries an unspoken asterisk: Musk approval. With Tesla's recent volatility, the Treasury Department is reportedly reworking eligibility requirements that could either flood Tesla with new subsidies or freeze them out entirely. Lobbyists on both sides are preparing for war, as Musk's recent controversies have made him either toxic or untouchable in Washington circles. October. Surprise, the X debate experiment. In a move that's already drawing FEC complaints, X will host the first Trump-Biden debate with real-time fact-checking by crowdsourced community notes. The unprecedented format gives Musk direct control over the most watched political event of 2025. Early reports suggest 30-second delay for moderation. Premium subscribers get priority question submission, $8 verification required to vote in instant polls. The Musk doctrine emerges. This trifecta reveals Musk's endgame: simultaneous dominance in space infrastructure, Starship success, Mars leverage, policy influence, EV credits, auto industry control, information control, debate hosting, char selection sway. Market analysts are calling it vertical integration of power, where Musk's companies don't just compete in industries, but reshape their very rulebooks. The only question remaining: who will stop him? And does anyone left even want to try?